In 2025, 3 hours, just my footsteps, silence, no phone, no notifications, no distractions. When I first started these walks, I thought I was a little bit crazy, and it felt more like a chore than actually something that I looked forward to do. I never looked forward to them until I actually got into the walks. And that's when I discovered that somewhere between the streetlights and the stars, I developed a level of mental clarity that has completely transformed my year so far. And so, what I'm about to share with you guys, it's not just another walking routine, it's not just another way to settle into your body, but it's a way to completely shift your mindset and allow your brain waves to settle down into a natural state. So, the three main benefits of walking that I noticed is number one, when you first start out, it unlocks a level of mental clarity and just energy. So about 45 minutes in, your dopamine is going to reset. And then two is about 90 minutes in, your brain shifts into these theta waves, which is akin to meditation. And you start to get this energy and this creativity that you don't have, and that kind of lasts the remainder of the walk. And then lastly, I want to talk about the actual physical changes as well, because walking is extremely beneficial for the body as well. So, to begin with, I think we don't realize how much cortisol and stress we are carrying with us into the end of the day. And when we don't walk, oftentimes we carry this cortisol into bed, and it can cause things like restlessness and the inability to sleep. And so when we go on these long walks, when I've gone on these long walks, you'll notice about the first 5 to 10 minutes is getting past your mind. It's getting past your brain. Your brain's asking yourself, why am I really doing this? Do I want to go on 3 hours tonight? Is this really worth it? And especially leading up. But after about 30 to 45 minutes, what you'll notice is that your dopamine just it resets, your body sort of calms down. You shift from high beta into low beta and alpha waves, which is somewhat similar to a meditation. And you start to relax into the rhythm of the walk. You start to see your thoughts a little bit more, and your dopamine comes down, and you can start to appreciate each step. Your body gets into a natural rhythm in where your spine is straight, your mind is focused, but it's just perceiving. And all of these thoughts that have been coming and going, they're more so focused towards keeping your body in check, keeping this natural rhythm. And you start to think about your day's problems, and it's around that 30 to 45 minute mark, and basically for that next up until about 90 minutes, you're able to really listen to yourself, and you're able to listen to your problems. Oh, I should have, and do a self audit. And you can think about all the things you could have done in the day, maybe things that you want to do better, maybe adjustments that you can do. But when we are so much in high beta, it's difficult to look on the outside in. It's difficult to take these perceptions and take these ideas and these thoughts of how we want to change the day, the differences that we want to make. And what happens is when we don't listen to ourselves, we often get into a period where we are just repeating the same day over and over again. And so these walks, they allowed my brain and my cortisol and to really settle down, and that affects your sleep as well. So when you get done with these walks, you feel nice and refreshed. So that's number one, is that your dopamine and your cortisol, they get a much needed reset. And then two is what I noticed is what I call the creative phase of the walk. Once your dopamine levels start to return, you start to walk a little bit faster. You start to breathe a little bit deeper. Your body settles into this rhythm, and that's when you shift into the theta state. And that's about 90 minutes in, so about halfway through. And halfway through, you start getting all these creative ideas that you didn't even know existed. You start thinking about your problems in a new way, and it becomes motivating instead of getting beaten down by the challenges and thinking like, oh, this is going to require this much time to accomplish this goal. Oh, I want to do that, but eating healthy sounds terrible. Like the junk food is more, maybe more appealing to you. And you start to notice that these cravings, these desires by the body, they just go to the wayside. You're not even thinking about them. Instead, your body and mind, it starts getting excited about these different problems. You start thinking about, you start thinking outside of the box. How can I tackle this problem? Oh, I've had a busy day. How can I make my workouts more efficient? How can I get the body that I want? Uh, what changes do I want to make in my career? What type of person do I want to be? Do I want to be more loving, more giving? What are some different ways? And it just sort of, you get these different thoughts that wouldn't happen, things that I've noticed, and it can just be simple things. But I might notice on these walks, I might want to check in with a friend and just tell them, hey, I appreciate you, want to know how you're doing. Maybe I have a product that I just ordered on Amazon, and it's like, wow, I really appreciate this product, let me go leave a good review. You start to get these thoughts of how you can give more, and your own body becomes a vessel for that creativity. You start thinking about all the different ways that you can improve your walk. You start feeling, I had slight knee pain to begin the year in my left knee. What I realized is that I was just not putting enough pressure on the inside of my knee. So every time I would take a step in this theta wave state, I was able to think about and literally heal my knee just based on, oh, I was slightly off balance when I was taking steps. And so once I got into this theta state, it didn't take long, 2 or 3 walks before my knee pain was completely gone. And so you're able to do these things. Or do my feet need more attention? Are my arches not getting enough arch? Am I not breathing as deeply? So that brings me to my last point here, is that your body becomes a physical expression of your mind. When you become in this creative state, all of a sudden your posture improves. You hold your head a little bit higher. You start gazing out both up and down. You start noticing different things about your environment. Your rate of perception increases. You're able to take in more light. You're able to see more things. And you're able to really listen to your body. Oftentimes we don't realize how much oxygen our brain needs. Our brain is a powerhouse. It has so much power demands, and especially when you're walking outside at night, you're relaxing into this state and you're breathing this fresh air. Your brain has more energy. Once your brain has more energy, everything else in your body starts to have more energy too. You start to be more aware of your fingers, of your toes. You start to be more aware of how your calves are interacting with your feet. You start to understand the rhythm of their shoulders, where your shoulders might naturally want to be. Your body gets less tight. It feels like you just got done with a full body stretch. And part of that's because of the full oxygenation of the system. You feel like the nutrients are being pumped to where they need to be pumped. And so you'll notice that your gait improves. Your walking speed will improve over time with these walks, even. You'll notice that your hips feel great, your knees feel better, your toes feel better. Any sort of physical pain will feel better. And I can't guarantee that you won't feel any pain or that there won't be temporary pains. But what I will say is that you will feel better. And that's part of the goal, is to feel better. It's part of embracing the process. And that's something that I will always recommend to you guys, is that we need to embrace the process. And so you'll notice that everything starts to feel better. Your mind and your brain is settled down. So if you have issues sleeping at night, this 3-hour walk, I would try it even just for a week. 2 or 3 days of 3 hours, and then 1 hour per night for the rest of the 4 days. And you'll be able to notice huge amounts of shifts. And then it's up to you. If you want to continue the practice, if you're seeing a lot of benefits, well, then you can easily continue. But if you don't want to continue, well, it's easy to cut out that habit as well. But what I would recommend to everybody is that you step in with force. Anytime you want to make a change within your body, within your mind, it's best to push the envelope, to be a little bit bolder. Now, 3 hours, that's going to sound like a lot. And the brain, the mind is going to give a lot of mental pushback because I noticed that, especially in the beginning. My mind would almost not look forward to it. Oh, I'm a little bit tired tonight. It's a little bit cold, especially when you first start, especially when you are it's getting close to your walking time. You start to create all these excuses in the mind. And then really that first 5 to 15 minutes, you're just pushing through the mind, you're settling in. But then once you settle in, you unlock this world of creativity. All of a sudden your mental problems seem a little bit less small. You start detaching from your problems and they don't become a part of your identity. Instead, now your problems are they become a challenge. You're excited about them because it's not you. You've detached from it. Instead of letting these problems, they can weigh on us and they can crush our spirit. They can crush our ability to take action because everything seems so big. But when we're in this creative state, we start getting creative solutions to problems. And oftentimes, great thinkers like Nietzsche, um, Nikola Tesla, they were known for using long walks because they got a level of creativity. They allowed their brainwave states to settle down in such a creative state because we don't know the solutions until we go on the walk. Oftentimes I would find myself thinking about problems throughout the day, kind of butting my head against these problems and not being able to find a solution. But then you go on a walk and you're in this creative state and you put yourself in the right mental state to tackle the problems. All of a sudden now it seems easy. Or I might go to bed and now through sleep, it's like I got that solution during a dream. It's like the moment I wake up, I just know exactly what to do. So it helps us detach from those problems, not take it on as a part of our identity, and help us be more present, more okay in the present moment. And I can't stress enough the power of the fresh air and just oxygenating the entire system. It's so cleansing physically, it's so cleansing mentally. If you need to lose weight, you'll notice that it's a very powerful weight loss tool as well. You'll naturally feel more invigorated. And by the time you get done with the 3 hour walk, you will feel accomplished. You will feel ready for sleep. If you're ready to sleep, you can naturally go to sleep. If you have other things to do, you'll have the energy to tackle those other things as well. But basically, anything after the walk, it's going to feel easy. It's going to feel easy to your body. You're going to be in a creative state. You might have things that you want to write down. Oftentimes, I will find myself journaling after these walks just to really hammer home all the points that I learned. So I encourage you guys, try it, test it out for yourself, push the envelope, and really walk until pick a time. For me, I chose 3 hours because it felt uncomfortable, uncomfortably long, something I did not want to do. So I'd recommend pick a uncomfortably long time because you'll realize that your dopamine completely resets. When you allow yourself to do something for so long, your body it's requiring that amount of focus. It's requiring that amount of attention, that amount of output. And you'll notice that you have energy to all of a sudden do these other things that you wanted to do, even if it's just sleep. And oftentimes we're so tired, it's a paradox, that we can't sleep. It's the only time that our mind has had time to actually settle down, and now it wants to use that creative time when we're lying in bed wide awake to think about the problems. So if we proactively take these steps, you'll notice a whole host of benefits, and I hope that helps you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.